Hello, everybody. I am joined by Grandmaster Veselin Topalov. He was FIDE World Champion. He had 2 World Championship matches against Kramnik and Anand. He played in the Olympiad 9 times, and currently he is one of the instructors at the Elite Camp at the Charlotte Chess Center. How are you, Veselin?
Great.
Great. So my first question, I guess, is about the camp. How are things going here at the Chess Center? Are the kids learning anything?
I hope so. No, honestly, I really enjoy. It's first time. Usually, I never teach, but it's the first time I come to such a camp, and for the moment, I'm really enjoying it.
What sort of activities are you doing with the kids? What's on the menu today?
Well, I'll trying to teach them a bit of everything. Mostly, of course, they like calculation and tactics, but I've shown them also endings and trying to show them a bit of everything. Also some positional games, but mostly they like calculation because they focus. I mean, they're bored with defense, but if you show them some good position, some interesting position, then they enjoy.
When you were a younger player and trying to improve and trying to make your name in the chess world and be a professional player, how was that for you? How did it improve to what the kids are going through today and what the task is for them to try and get their rating up and all that?
When I was when I was young, of course there were no computers, so all the information we were gathering from books, mainly Russian books in my case, and now things are completely different because everyone has the extremely powerful engines, and in seconds you understand who made a mistake, which the most important the stronger move is. I believe that memory has always been very important, but now it's because the information is so much and it grows every day. It became even more important.
Are the kids here pretty booked up? Do they know openings? Do they know things to move 20?
Some of them, of course, they know. Yeah, of course. Some of them, not only do they know, but they also know lots of many of the important games of the history.
Oh, interesting. So the candidates started today. It's if I could turn the camera around, which I won't. There are some people watching the games right now. What do you think of the candidates? Who do you think is going to win? How do you think it's going to go?
Again, I mean, I'm very bad in predictions, so I never bet. But before today, I thought that Dink and Fabiano had slight. They were kind of the leaders, and then like favorites. And then about Firouzja and the rest, they were a bit of unpredictable. That was my impression. But for the moment, I don't know about Fabiano's game, but it seems like Ding is in trouble.
When you were preparing for a big event like this, for a world championship match or something along those lines, I'm curious what the preparation would look like. I think the general public has this idea that especially before a world championship match, the players disappear to some secluded location and they just study openings and they just prepare openings. Is that correct, or is there more to it?
That's correct, but simply it's not only openings. Of course, you need to do a lot of physical training because in a long match, obviously, one needs energy, and then some. I think that it is important to correctly, more or less, and objectively imagine and predict in a way, if possible, the development of the match. But one has to be objective because, and not to be too optimistic, but of course, just to be realistic, I think.
You mentioned physical preparation. That's very interesting. What was your physical preparation when you were getting ready for a big event?
Nothing special. I was just going to a gym, and not every day, but several times a week.
Yeah, makes sense.
Bit of sauna also, and running.
Okay.
Gym, mostly gym.
Just get the heart beating, I suppose. So getting back to improving at the game, If you had advice for a young player, which I assume you're giving out this week, what do you think is the most important part for a younger player to improve their game and to get their rating up?
I believe one should never stop, and there are, of course, everyone has a style. One likes positional games, and other likes to attack. So it is important to try to be complete and to learn to do well, to play well positions you don't like, and that's very important because with talent, more or less everyone reaches quickly certain level, and then it stops, or you kind of improve and, as I said, learn how to play positions you don't like. That's for me the most important.
When you were younger, what were the positions you didn't like? What was the problem for you?
I was very aggressive, and of course I liked it, fireworks, but it happens from time to time in a game, but sometimes you just have to learn what to do in boring positions, and I didn't like. But eventually with time, of course, one improves in that as well.
Speaking of style, I wanted to ask you about style. I'm a little bit afraid to. I think Karpov once snapped at an interviewer who asked him about his style. Do you believe that chess styles play an important role in their distinct styles between players? And what do you think about that?
No, definitely. I mean, there are differences. And okay, Karpov is probably, everybody knows that he's a classical and positional player. I guess Tal is the opposite, but again, one has to learn to play well all kinds of positions. You can't really because if you have a weak spot, then everybody knows it, and then eventually everybody's trying to get positions you don't like. So
yeah.
It makes sense to be balanced and complete, I would say.
Yeah, if you're not good at something, you're going to get a lot of practice in it in your tournament games against your opponents.
No, one of the mistakes, which is it's not really a mistake, it's more a weakness, is lots of people, they have problems with the time distribution of their time, like time travels all the time, and that's maybe you don't. It's only one mistake, weakness like this is enough to spoil your career.
Yeah. Yeah. What can a player do about if a player is using too much time and they're just constantly right up against the clock, and at the end of the game they have to move in 10 seconds every time? What's the solution to that? Just being more aware of it?
Probably, first of all, I think the moves that are completely obvious, you have to play quickly as quickly as possible and then move forward. But as an advice, well, of course, with practice, one always improves. But also, lots of players, they run to the mistake that they think, okay, I'm spending a lot of time, I'm running a lot to many time troubles, but I'm good in these situations, and it's not true. Even if that's true, you shouldn't do that. So,
yeah.
Be practical, and maybe just never spend too much time on moves that are not decisive. Maybe it's not always possible to find the best move. Simply. Sometimes you have to be practical and sacrifice time for quality, maybe.
Makes sense. All right, well, Veselin, you've been very gracious with your time. I appreciate it. And Veselin has to get back to teaching the next generation. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the camp.